So like I was saying, I'm going to be having the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or the sleeve, or the lap sleeve, or whatever you want to call it. I'm getting sleeved. Um, I don't recall how I stumbled upon this particular procedure, but I started thinking about or trying to go into bariatric surgery about 10 years ago, 9-ish years ago. And I started that when I lived in Atlanta. That's when I first started YouTube and all that jazz. And I didn't do it because I went to see a doctor in Atlanta, and I'll name names, and if they want to get mad at me, they can get mad at me. This is what happened to me. Um, I was doing it through Emory. If anyone lives in Atlanta, they know Emory. It's a big hospital down there. And all my other doctors, I'm such a klutz, so I just like threw my phone. Anyways, all my other doctors are at Emory, or were at Emory, because one, my mother worked there, and I just felt comfortable there because I just felt they have such a prestigious reputation. So that's where I went was with Emory. And I was going through their bariatric system, and went to the seminar, did all the stuff, doing appointments. I had my appointment with the surgeon, and he said to me several things that threw me completely off. One, he said to me, all fat people are depressed. And I was like, excuse me? He was like, well, when you're fat, you're depressed because you're fat, and then you're fat because you're depressed. Yeah. No, no, sir. And that felt me somebody. I didn't like someone. I didn't want someone who had that outlook. Going into my body and doing things like, whatever. Also, what he said, my mom brought up because at that time I was in my early 20s, if that, 9 years ago. No, I was 19. So, my mom brought up something about childbirth, child rearing, having babies and shit. Because of course she's a mom, and she's like, I want to have grandbabies. Y'all know how mothers are. Anywho, so she brought that up, and he said something to the effect of, again, 9 years ago, I cannot quote it verbatim, but I remember how I feel and how it made me feel, and I didn't like the way he had said it. He said something to the effect of, when you lose weight, you're more likely to have sex because you're not fat. Yeah, I know. So I was like, bitch, what? Anyway, so after that, I was like, I told my mom, because my mom was all gung ho for it, because she just worries, she just wants me happy or whatever. And I was like, at that point, I felt like I never tried to lose weight because of my size and my BMI. It was, people, they were like, well, you're approved, go do it, But I felt like I had never tried, and at that point, I was still 100 pounds lighter than what I am now, maybe more, maybe even less, even more than 100 pounds is what I meant. So maybe I was even lighter than that. So with that being said, I was like, I don't feel like I've tried. So over that whole part of time, I tried, and I had a run, a long stretch of when I was doing pretty well. I was still not average size. I was still big. Y'all seen me in all my videos. You can check out all my videos. And but I was never like, got down to like average size or whatever. So with that being said, I had some incidents in my life after that stretch of me doing really well and getting to like the lowest that I can recall being. Well, I never, when I cheered in high school, I didn't weigh myself. You can see, I did sports. We ran every day at cheer practice. We ran and did all these things, and I was always big. No, excuse me. Sorry. And I was always, heavy. So I don't know exactly what I weighed in high school, because I never cared to weigh myself. I wasn't that person. But I know, like, after high school and all that jazz. So I might have been lighter when I was in high school and cheering and things, but I can't give you a reference point there. But as I was saying, fuck, what was I saying? Sage, what was mommy saying? What was mommy saying? Anyways, that stretch of time, some things happened. I had my grandmother pass away, and then my aunt passed away. And then I decided to move from Atlanta to Washington State, and I was involved with someone who I thought was a friend. And I knew since I was in high school. He's had always been close with me, and there were some traumatic things there um, within our relationship. I want to I want to feel like it doesn't exist, but it happened. Whatever. Maybe I'll do a story time on that one day. Maybe not. I don't. I just. It's tough, and it's actually one of those things that like just now started affecting me, and it's weird, but whatever. That's another thing. And then a couple months after that, with that relationship happened, my ex fiance, who I know sounds crazy, my ex fiance that was basically like my first love, um, was murdered. And after those sequence of events, all of this was started September to of 1 year till May of another year. All those sequence of events, like, and my ex fiance passing, like, was like the cherry on top of the sundae of awesome, awful, not awesome, of awful. So I broke down. I just broke down. I stopped caring. I stopped paying bills. Only bill I paid was my rent and my car note, cause I could make have some place to live, cause homeless ain't sexy, and have a way to get to and from work, cause again, homeless ain't sexy. So, and I remember one time I was out just throwing money, like literally, I was just shopping to shop to shop to shop. I was throwing money around, and my credit card called me, and they called from like a block number or whatever, and I was like, hello. Oh, yeah, go ahead, I have the money, just take it. Like, I wasn't, it's not that I didn't have the money to pay it, it's that I just didn't care. So with me not caring to even pay bills, I wasn't caring about my health, I wasn't caring about anything. I was just like, I wanted to die. I wouldn't say that I was suicidal so much as I wanted to die. So with all that happening, and then I got to a point where like I was just doing a lot of crazy things that will never get a story time. But I was doing a lot of crazy things. I was partying and all this other stuff, like, and it was weird. Anyways, with all those things happening and then going through them and trying to bring myself out of it, that mourning, that grieving, that oh, all of that, um, I stumbled upon one of my old videos. I stumbled upon one of my old videos. I don't remember exactly how, which is my bucket list, which isn't very long and it doesn't have a, but so I looked over my bucket list and I was like, I need to do these things that I keep saying I want to do. So I enrolled in school. So I'm pretty much in my last little stint of my prerequisites for nursing school. Um, and then fingers crossed, hopefully I get into a nursing program. Um, I One other thing is I auditioned for a play. I performed my spoken word, so many different things. And one of the last things there, other than fall in love, was lose weight. Oh yeah, and adopt a child. But I was gonna wait for that after school. But I need to do that to whatever. Um, so by this time, with all that stuff, obviously I wasn't caring for myself before, and I had gained 90 pounds. I already wasn't little. So 90 pounds to someone who already wasn't little is detrimental. Detrimental. I started actually feeling the effects of the weight gain. So I'm in pain. I was I'm in pain nearly every day. My knees hurt. My back hurts. Like it gets bad. And I'm literally like I have to like literally push myself through every single moment of my life, like walking here, walking there. And so many of my family and my friends, like they don't. Um, some of them are like surprised because they're like, "Well, you don't have any issues," and I was like, "That's just because I refuse to be victim of it." I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I refuse to play victim. I did this to me. I did. No one else did. I can't play victim to me. All I can do is try to get through it, try to overcome it. So I was doing all the things that I was doing before that really helped me lose weight, all the working out stuff, the way I was eating, everything, but it wasn't working. Nothing was working. It wasn't going nowhere. I was mostly staying the same, but sometimes creeping up more and creeping up, just slowly creeping up more. Then I'll stay the same for a while and then start creeping, then stay the same for a bit and keep creeping. Like I got scared. I'm scared because I work in the medical field. I want to continue to work in the medical. I see the effects of people who are overweight, obese, and whatnot, and I'm trying to do something for myself before it gets to a point um, where it's irreversible. So I was praying to the goddess, to the God, to my spiritual connections, and I just like help me, like I just help me, and my cousin had told me about like, oh, she was taking her doctor prescribed her some like medicine that would help her, with weight loss and everything, and so I was like, maybe because I really did not want to do the surgery. I didn't want to be cut on, I just wanted to try, like I just needed some help, and my doctor was like, well, people who do that, it's just like a quick fix, and like they're not like, you know, they're just not going to keep up with it. And I literally started crying. Like I broke down in this office, and this man sitting in front of me, and I'm like, you know what? I was like in my head, I'm like, I'm literally fighting for my life here, and I was like, I just need some help. I just and because I'm doing I'm doing everything. He's like, well, how are you eating? I said I've gone gluten free, and I don't try to replace things with that are gluten free with like I don't like okay example. I don't eat bread, and I don't even do gluten free bread because I'm like that. Why? So I just reach for things that are naturally gluten free. So mostly my diet is literally like some sort of meat, like fish or chicken, and salads or vegetables. I'm not a sweet person. I don't love sweets. Um, Desserts and here or there because I hate cake and things like that. But I can do a cookie, but I don't reach for them. I just don't love them. And I'm doing so much. I'm doing all the things that helped me to lose 40, 50 pounds before in the past. But now I'm like gaining that and then some more back. And I don't understand why. So and he's just like, well, so I was like, okay, whatever. All I can do is just keep trying. Like, you're not trying, I'm explaining all of this stuff to my diet, and he's like, well, I don't know, just keep trying. Maybe you need to work out more. And da da da. I was like, yeah. And so, again, I think I was driving, and I was on Pandora, and actually a little, like, commercial came on, and it was like, hey, da da da, for, bariatrics. And my mom, whenever I talked to her or I complained about like how much I'm trying and things aren't working or I'm just gaining, she would say stuff like the way it would come out, it kind of like would hurt me. And I know she's not trying to hurt me, but my mom's never been a 400-pound person. So, – and lived that life. So, I guess she didn't quite get it. I mean, until I told her, you know. But I didn't want to cause any problems. But she would say things like, "I wish you'd just go get the surgery and get it over with." I was like, really? Like, I'm trying here, you know? So, anywho, long story short, I just felt like she kept saying things like that, and I kept hearing this commercial, and I was like, maybe this is my sign. Like, this is what I do. So I picked up the phone, I called. I didn't call, no. I went to the online and to the email or whatever, inquiry or whatever. And then someone called me back, and then we exchanged for a while, and I wasn't like 500% sure. I was scared. I did, you know, I continued, started doing more research and everything. And then I just settled on it. I was like, I need to do this. I just need help. I need help. And when I met with all these doctors and my the group that I went with is Puget Sound Bariatrics in Washington, but they're now called Eviva. Um, so they just like changed their name over to Eviva, and literally every single person I encountered in that office was just amazing. It felt so much differently than the way I felt with when I did it at Emory. Just so much differently. Like the doctors are like the surgeons are so personable and open, and the psych team counselors were all like awesome, and you know, didn't make me feel any type of way. Like they get it. Like that's all I can say. They just get it. They get it without like, yeah, you, that wasn't you, but this is what you're here for. So sorry if I'm tearing up a little bit. But anyways, they just get it. And so I'm just going forward with this. And that's what's going on. And so anyway, sorry, this video might be long. I should have said that in the beginning. But I just wanted people to understand my process and what I've gone through to get here, to get to this 10 days before my surgery. Some of the hiccups that I've had, and by the time you see this, I will have already had my procedure done. I'm not posting this beforehand. I don't want anybody's anything. Like, I originally, I wasn't even going to call my mom until I had this huge problem, which I'm going to tell you about, and I was just like freaking out, and I just, you know, I needed my mom. So yeah, I wasn't going to tell much of anyone. I still haven't told much of anyone. Most of my family doesn't know. Only people in my family that know are my sisters, like my immediately. And I say my family, I don't know about other people's family, but my family is close. We are so close. It's ridiculous. It's kind of problem. I don't know. Maybe a psychologist might call it um, codependence. I don't know. We're just really close. We all talk to each other. We all have separate relationships with each other, and we're just there, you know. And shoot, 2 a.m. cousins, whoever wants to stop by my house and whatever, they come on in. Whatever. It's not even an issue. But that's just how my family works, and we just, it's all love. And but I didn't tell anyone because I just didn't want any negative opinions. Like, I'm so over this. I'm so over feeling this way. I'm so tired. I am so tired of being sick and tired that I don't want to hear not one negative, oh, you shouldn't do this, da, da, da. I don't want to hear not one, well, you know, that's just cheating and you need to work harder. I don't want to hear any of it. What I want to hear is, I got your back. So I only told people that I knew who would understand what was happening with me and who would understand what I needed to do for me. So my mother knows, my immediate family, which is like my sisters, brothers, and my dad. That's like that circle. Um, but Sage, what are you doing? But outside of that, like my aunts and all them, only one aunt. I've only told this to one. I have more that I trust, but I only had told this to one aunt, which is my mom's twin, and her daughter, as well as my best friends, Micah, and two of my best friends. Well, no, three. Um, all of my best friends. Okay, let's just say that. All of my best friends and my boss. Um, because my boss since my parents live on the opposite side of the country, she's kind of become like my work mom. She's so freaking awesome, and she just gets me, and she's just been there a lot for me, and so it's just great. Um, so those are the people I told. I didn't tell my grandmother because she would go crazy. I didn't tell my dad, but I told my mom that she could tell him, but I was like, I'm not telling him. My dad is quite, protective of us, of all his babies. So yes, even I'm almost 30, we're all his babies. So anyhow, and then I didn't have a boyfriend for whatever any relationship, so I didn't have to deal with any of that. But it's crazy because just recently I got into something started, and so I asked my best friend. I said, should I tell him? And he was like, well, that just depends on how serious it is and how whatever. And then I asked my friend, this best friend who happens to be a guy. I said, well, would you want to know? He said yes. So, and I know the guy, he knew something was happening, or because he we'd call or text, and he'd be like, oh, what are you doing, da, da, da. And I'd be like, well, I'm head to a doctor's appointment that day. I have to go all the way up to East Jesus Nowhere for this appointment. He's like, why do you have to go all the way up there? And I was like, because that's just where I gotta be. Or he'll be like, oh, hey, you want to go to dinner at like sometime, and I'm like, well, I can't really eat that. Why can't you eat that? And for a long time I could get away with the gluten-free excuse or stuff, but now with being on the low carb diet, I couldn't really get away with that, because like now he's like, well, it's gluten-free, and I was like, yeah, but I still can't eat it, so I broke down and told him, and yeah, no, he's great. So those are all the people that I was open to, because like I said, I don't want any negative anything. Like I just want people around me that will give me positive energy, because I've already made the decision. I've done all the research. I've done, so I'm over this. Literally last year, because I also coach a high school cheer squad. That's one of the things on my bucket list, was to like give back to community and stuff. Um, and I cheered my whole life, and I love cheer, so being able to coach is just perfect for me. Anyways, um, last year at cheer camp, I was so sick, so sick. But I pushed through it for my girls, because my girls needed me. If I didn't go to camp, then there wouldn't have been another car to drive all the girls. There would, because we drove in two different cars. Um, the head coach drove her SUV, and I drove my little car, and there wouldn't have been enough room for everyone to go. And so I had to go, and this is a commitment that I made to these girls, and I believe in them, and I needed to be there for them, and it was important for my soul to be there for them. So um um but I was so sick. I was, and this might be TMI, but I was like vomiting, nauseous, diarrhea the entire time. I carried Pepto Bismol in my bag everywhere I went, and so it's like as soon as we ate anything, I had to either throw it up or just anything. No kisses, not no kisses right now. Anyways, so it's like no matter what, all that was happening. Um, but I had a breakdown. Like I was in my room, my head coach came in, and I was like, and it's funny because like I don't tell people a lot of stuff, like what I feel. And so she knew something was wrong, and I was just like, I was just so upset, because I was like, I'm so tired of this. I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like I'm so tired of this, and I'm like, and that's what I really like. I had already called them earlier, like a couple weeks before, but that's when, and they had returned my call or my email or whatever, and I was like, nope, I'm calling him right now. This is happening, because like I literally was like, I'm so tired of being sick and tired. Like I want to be the coach that these girls deserve. I want to be the, you know, I want to, yeah, I don't want to be sitting in my room like fucked up, like when I should be there, you know, with them and being the coach that I know I can be, but it's just physical obstacles that I literally can't do. Anyhow, and like I was just, it was a mess. It was a mess. So with that, that's when I was like, nope, it is time. Let's do this. Let's do this, Bill. Um. Okay. So that was like the last straw for me, and now we're here. Um. So I guess this is just talking my journey to the decision to have some sort of weight loss surgery and then the VSG, because another reason why I didn't go to the other one, because I did not want the bypass whatsoever. And I was the lap band that goes around your stomach, to me, doesn't seem very successful. And after doing more research and talking with my doctors, they're like, yeah, most people come back and get revised and get a sleeve. And I was like, okay. So I wanted to go with this. I've seen so much success with the sleeve. It seems like you can just control your weight loss a lot more than the bypass, as well as with the lap band. It doesn't really like, I don't know. To me, it just seems like the lap band doesn't really do anything. I've seen people and known people who, when they went through all this process of getting the lap band, didn't lose anything. I'm not gonna go through this to not lose anything. Like you're not, baby. I'm not going to go under the knife for me to come back 2 years later and still have the same goddamn issues. Not, we're not doing this. No, 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 not today. Not my Jesus. Anyhow, so anyways, I just wanted to talk about that, and then we'll go from there. I will do videos here and there. I'm not gonna. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I keep playing. I need to get a clicker so I don't have to worry about that. Anyways, I'm sorry. I keep messing with my nose ring. Anyways, I'm not gonna say, hey, I'm gonna do weekly updates. I'm gonna do updates when I feel like doing an update. Lo siento. If that's yeah, that's just what's gonna happen. So that's that little story, which was more than a little story. And I hope everything is awesome for you all. So see you later. And as always, keep smiling.